As the corporate sector evolves, Berkha Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Berkha Africa. Berkha Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Berkha's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Berkha supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.berkhafrica.com for more information.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. As part of our Youth Leadership Dialogue Series, we're excited to create a reflective space where every young leader can learn from real-life experiences and not just theories. Today's session is designed as a conversation, guided by insightful questions that help us explore deeper layers of the entrepreneurial journey. So today we are honored to have with us Dr. Lillian Badao and Mr. Golois Marlet. It's a French name. So these are visionary entrepreneurs whose works continue to inspire young leaders across the continent. So I want to thank them for joining us. But before I get them in to briefly introduce themselves, I would walk you through. I'll also briefly introduce who I am, your moderator for the day. I'm Dr. Mavis B., a development specialist, a researcher, a monitoring and evaluation consultant. And at Berkha Africa, I'm the operations and business development lead. So welcome again, and to all our young people joining us online, please let us know where you are joining us from. Say hi and where you're joining us from, and we invite you to also partake in this meaningful dialogue. So I would like to invite our guest. And by way of introduction, I would love them to introduce themselves. I'd like to hear more of your story in your own words. As you introduce yourself, could you share your entrepreneurial journey, how it started, and how it has evolved? So let's say, ladies before gentlemen, I would like to invite Dr. Lillian Badao, if she's here yet, or okay, and. If not yet, Mr. Golois, who happens to be a pastor as well. So I guess thank you. This is our expert. Thank you for joining the show. Dr. Lillian, could you in a few minutes share with us your entrepreneurial journey, how it started, how it has evolved, and the moments that shaped it for you as you introduce yourself.
Hello,
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you can hear me. Can you
Very
hear
well.
me?
Yes, very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm so sorry for my technical issues. Thank you very much, Dr. Marvis, and thank you for the Abeka Africa for inviting me in this wonderful initiative. My entrepreneurship journey is quite. I don't know where to start. I would say I was raised in a family of entrepreneur. My dad had his own company and was he was manufacturing baby clothes and selling them to people who sold in the market. My mom had a convenience store at a train station, and I grew up going there and selling with her. So I would say it's really part of my DNA. Later on, when I was a teenager, during the summer, I noticed that I could do things like sewing things and going to sell them into offices and things like that to make money. And also, my mom used to do chips, plantain chips. I don't know if you guys are familiar to it. And I will go into places like gas station that have convenience store and tell them, hey, I have this product. I would like you to try it. And if you like it, I can be delivering the chips to you. So as a teenager, I was already doing something. Now, fast forward, being in the United States, going to school as a nurse. At some point, I decided that I wanted to venture into business as well as all of my other cousins who had salons. So I opened a beauty salon, which is doing quite well. And I also opened an assisted living because I had a background as a nurse. So that's a little bit what I've done so far. And of course, right now I'm in Ghana and we are currently working on a water company. And also, we started a non-for-profit called Alive Aid um, that we are also working on, at the moment. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. We've got such an experience that we would like to tap on the show. Now I invite Mr. Golua to also share his experience by way of introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Marvis, for this opportunity. Yeah, my experience, I didn't grow up in a family of entrepreneurs, just like as a Korean. We were raised to go to school and to be the best, right? So you have that, ability to study and to be the best in your class, and then hopefully one day you will be a great employee instead. But hardship of life came into the family where we were forced to be entrepreneurs. I just remember living in Cameroon where we were selling in the market, we're selling puff puff, we're selling, grilled fish, just to make ends meet. So that shaped the way I saw life, knowing that I can never be broke in my life because I have my two hands. So that kind of started, kind of instilled some values of hustling, as someone may call it. Then I migrated to the US where I studied, I went to school, and then my goal was to work at a great company, make money, retire, and then maybe serve a bigger purpose after that. But as I grew as I grew in the field, I noticed that those who are making it in life, those who are having breakthroughs, or those who are entrepreneurs, they don't have two heads, they don't have five fingers, they don't have 15 figures. They have this number of heads that we have. I have seven number of fingers. So that was the beginning of the aha moment. I see what you were calling it. It's like, oh, I'm not, what am I afraid of? So I started jumping in with the help of my wife. We were able to jump into doing some real estate businesses. We're able to jump in buying existing businesses and transforming it with digital transformation. I'm so passionate about technology, about the push of Africa in technology, and also the rise of AI. So we dive into it, and now we founded a company called Innovance Technology, where we are helping businesses to digital to go through the journey of digital transformation and also evolve with AI.
Wow, thank you. Thank you both very much. That's insightful. And from your conversation, I already picked up that you've mentioned the aha moment for you. For Mr. Golwa, it was when things is found out that things were not going the way you had hoped as a family, and you decided to try out something. And I believe many young people out there that are listening are also wondering what they could do, to, especially in Africa with the high poverty rate that we have, the high poverty in Africa. And for Dr. Lillian as well, it's a family thing. You grew up with it in the family. But my next question I would like us to explore is, looking back, let's go back in time for a moment, a time when you were in your 20s, because we're speaking to young people out there. And in this time, did you have any sense, reflect back, like, did you have any sense that entrepreneurship was your path? While you're in your 20s, did you have any sense, Mr. Golwa, I would like you to go first, yeah? Did you have any sense that entrepreneurship was your path?
No, I did not have. In my early 20s, I finished university when I was 22, 23. I had no idea of. I did not even dream of becoming an entrepreneur. I thought like, oh, that's for some category of people. The idea seems so far-fetched. Or so reachable as many people think that you need to have a list of criteria in order to be an entrepreneur. So just growing up, just exiting school with that mindset, I didn't even think that as an alternative until someone challenged my belief. Until I think that was my wife. She challenged my belief. Like, okay, why do you look at yourself this little? Right? What do you look at it? So that was maybe, so I got married at 26. So the later part of my 20s, that's where the mindset, right? So that's why I think that entrepreneurship, it's not a destination, it's a journey, right? That's my beginning of the journey where I was challenging my mindset or growing my mentorship into entrepreneurship. I started looking things differently. I said, oh, why am I having just a consumer mindset here? Or what is going on here? So that's where my journey of challenging myself, challenging my beliefs, challenging what I thought it was just okay having a fancy job. I landed a job at one of the best company in the world. I thought I've arrived, and I got there. I was like, okay, so that's it. So I'm working for Microsoft and as a senior software engineer. So that's it. There's more to it. I thought that you have arrived, but when you arrive, you feel as though there's more to it. There's more to it than just working, than to be a solution provider.
Wow, that's very interesting, given the fact that most young people nowadays are comfortable with a 9 to 5 job, and you have a beautiful, like a good job in a top company in the world, and you still venture into entrepreneurship. That's really it's really applaudable. And for Dr. Lillian, what in your 20s, what was going through your mind?
So I would say in my 20s, I was done with nursing school and I was probably working as a nurse. But I've always had a brain that looked for the gaps. So I wasn't ready to start my business yet, but I always had ideas. I was always thinking about something I can do to have more money. um, so it was in my head, but I was just fully, working as a nurse. And I would say maybe from time to time, I would go to my cousin's shops just to see how it went. But the idea have always been there. Like I would think, for instance, about um people who are having parties and maybe they want a bouncing house. It's like, oh my God, I can just get bouncing houses and rent them to these people whilst um,
Oh, we've lost her there.
here. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Okay.
you're back.
So I've always had that kind of mind, thinking about what was missing, what solution I could bring, and I think that's very critical for an entrepreneur. I don't know.
Thank,
Can you hear me?
thank you. We can hear you, but you're echoing. Okay, apologies for that glitches. She'll definitely come back. Okay. Yes, thank you. That's you're back. That's fine.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so I said that I've always had a, a mind that is seeking for the gaps, and I think
Mm,
that's the beauty about entrepreneurship. You bring your brain to things that you can create. Or what is missing? What do people need that are not having? What do
mm,
people? How can I make a difference in bringing this new product or is bringing this new service to people who are around me? So I think that's actually the heart of an entrepreneur, watching, looking for the gaps beyond your passion and what you like.
wow. So true. Entrepreneurship is all about filling the gap, identifying the gap, and filling the gap. Thank you. So starting is often the hardest part. No. So I would like Mr. Golua to share with us, walk us through the very first steps you took to turn your idea into reality. What did day one look like? What did your day one look like?
Yes, just following up on what Dr. Lillian said, right? The mindset of always looking what is missing. I think one of the things that you have to know, as I said earlier, entrepreneurship is not a destination, it's a journey. So one of the things that I did is to, as I said, to challenge my mindset or to build that entrepreneurship muscle, the entrepreneurship skill. And then there's a very first step that you can do. There are some people who may not have an idea. Some people have an idea and they would like to start. Some people are like, okay, I'm already in the middle there. So the first thing first into that entrepreneur journey, I will first say is to building that mindset. An example of what you can do daily, right? Before we dive into turning the idea into reality, is first looking at the problems around you. Right? Are you solving a problem? Are you solving a problem? And sometimes the question is, I don't even know what are the problems, right? And then there's a simple formula that I tell my mentees on how they can look at problems. Because when you do that, you are looking at you're changing your mindset from a consumer mindset to a producer mindset, and that is the first thing that you need to do. You want to be a producer. You want to be solving problems, as Dr. Lillian said. You want to solve problems, and how you do that is every day when you come back from work, come back from school, or come back home, you have a journal. You have a journal. What are the things that frustrated me today, and how can I solve it? Just that. So being practical, first thing is writing down your idea and making it just, and then you'll notice a pattern. You just notice a pattern and things that is recurring. And then you may have the skill for it, you may not have the skill for it. But the first turning idea is having a clear vision for it. It may not be fully, you will not fully, have the details. Then having a vision. A vision is just a high level from beginning to end, right? So having a vision for the idea, whether it is changing the way transportation is done, whether it's you're frustrating with the way healthcare is done, how can you improve that? Communication, just within schools, how can you do that? So starting with a process of, okay, I'm bringing solution, challenging, I'm seeing problems and I'm bringing the solutions, and then having a clear vision for it and writing it down in paper. People have ideas in their mind, but it's not written down. You have it written down and you ask someone to challenge your ideas, right? You ask a coach or a mentor to challenge your idea, to how you can bring them to reality. And then you move from a vision to a detailed plan, and then that's how you move on to execution.
Thank you very much. Even the Bible says we should write down the vision and make it clear. When we write it down, we are able to run with it. And I just learned something from what you've said. Something touched me there. Like daily, when you come back, when you move around, don't just complain. Write down the things that are not working, and that will help you think on how to fix them. So that is very insightful. Any young people out there, I know they are learning and they are taking down notes. Please let us know in the comment section where you are joining us from, your name and where you are joining us from, and your comments or questions that you would want our guests to respond to. Please post on our comment section. Thank you very much. And now we go looking at the role of monitoring and coaching. Young people often need guidance and inspiration, that's for sure, because the young, they can make mistakes here and there. So how can mentoring, rather, how can mentoring and coaching support young leaders to grow and sustain their entrepreneurial journey? Dr. Lillian is back in. Thank you for
Oh,
coming back. So
sure.
did you get the question,
Yes, I
Dr.
had the
Lillian?
question. I've been there. I was listening. So,
Sure.
um, about the mentoring and coaching, I
Mm,
believe it's timely. I believe it's needed, because once I mean, if you listen to Mr. Golua earlier, when you have the idea and you've challenged your idea, you figure out, oh my God, I'm responding to a need. I'm feeling a gap about something. The next step is to count the cost. What is it going to take for me to get from to leave from point A to point Z to point B? What am I going to have to lose? What am I going to have to sacrifice? How am I going to pay the price? Am I ready for it? Once you know that you are, mentorship becomes the greatest thing you can ever found, because the people who have gone ahead of you already know about the loopholes. And you don't just pick a mentor, you make sure it's somebody who's successful in whatever you're trying to achieve, so that as they are guiding you and mentor you and coaching you, you avoid the mistake they've had before. They bring another light and make you see things from another angle, you know, and that's just wonderful. And of course, whilst doing that, we don't want you to lose your creativity. You don't have to copycat what the mentor did, but bring in what you will be making a difference with, and still let it go through the lenses of people who have had experience before. So I think that's very important. It will make a huge difference.
mm. Thank you very much. That's key because young people just, they've got this brilliant idea and they feel they can just run through with it without any coaching, without any guidance. As Pastor Golwa, he's also a pastor. So how, I'll ask you to share your take on this, on the mentoring and the coaching part for
Y-
entrepreneurs.
y- Yes, I'm just gonna double just plus one on that. Definitely, it's better to learn from the pain and mistake of others than to learn from your own, right? So when you have a coach or you have a mentor that is giving you advice, okay, and Dr. Lillian said something very critical. The choice how to choose a mentor. That's another podcast, right? So the skills that you need and what you're looking for, right? You first have to understand what you have and where you're trying to go and who can help you take you go to that journey, that you reach that potential, reach that goal. Choosing your mentor is very critical. The mentor allows you, is guiding you, is challenging you, is coaching you, is very critical for you as a young leader, as a young entrepreneur, to grow and sustain your growth, because it's one thing to explode, it's another thing to sustain your growth. So having mentors along the way that will challenge you and question you and say, no, 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 you're about to do it. You're holding yourself accountable. Right? Accountability is one key here that mentorship brings and coaching brings. Like, it's not, you're just not just having a wild idea that you're changing the world, but there are rail guardrails around you that allows you to successfully reach your goal. So that's a key thing. It's learning from the mistakes of others, and then learning from those who are gone ahead of you.
Thank you very much. So then, from your perspective as entrepreneurs, what skills have been most important to your success, and how did you intentionally develop those skills? Mr. Golwa, you can go, and Dr. Lillian will join.
Yes, I would say for me, one of the key things that I had to do is the concept of learning fast, right? So when you are, let's say, I'll give an example. I bought this business and I'm going through, it was a dry cleaning business. I went through a digital transformation where, the industry is archaic, using old or using manual, everything, pen and paper. With my brain as an engineer, I was going in to implement a digital transformation strategy. One of the things that I had to learn quick that was very important, it is retrospective, right? It's one thing to set goals, it's one thing to reach them or not to reach them, and to ask questions. what would I have done differently? For me, we were doing to that in that journey of buying the business, transforming the business, and then the business is booming. Then I had an issue with the retention, with hiring. I've noticed that and the turnover was quite high. So now I was like, okay, what should I do differently? What have I done? So building that in all your decision making, not just penalizing yourself when you make mistake, but learning, not being afraid of taking risk. And when you fail in the risk process, question yourself, right? And like, what could I have done differently? Do a deep retrospective, like be super critical. I am very critical of myself. I go back and criticize myself with data. I say, okay, knowing what I know now, because I know in entrepreneurship, the same problem you encounter today, you will face them tomorrow again. But if you learn from the problem you see today, when you meet them tomorrow, you already have a strategy, you already have a plan. So I was able to quickly learn from the hiring, strategizing my hiring, because it's one thing to have a product, it's one thing to sell the product, it's one thing to um, to have people that would join you into materializing the project, right? So having that, always have the mindset of retrospective. How can I do better? Yeah, this is great. How can I improve on? How can I hold myself accountable to ensure that one next time when I encounter this problem, it is much better.
Beautiful. Always retrospecting, thinking by reflecting, what can you do better? Dr. Lillian?
Yes, yeah, I would say he said it all. I would say learn to listen, 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 learn
Mm.
is the key. Being able to be molded. And when you listen, when you learn, it means that you are going to hear things that you don't want to hear. You are going to see things that you don't want to see, but you'll be able to mold yourself into whatever it takes to get to your goal. You know, another thing that I think is very important is when we talk about the skills, you need to master your skill. I will take an example. When I opened my shop, my salon, I didn't know how to braid, but I had to learn. I had to look all kinds of YouTube video and know how they do the line, know why they shouldn't make products, know how to make a shampoo. I have to know those things, even though my goal wasn't to work in my business, but for my business, I needed to know exactly how it works. Then I can talk to somebody about it. Then I can coach somebody about it. Then I can speak over whoever is working for me. They won't challenge me because I know exactly what I'm doing. So knowing your craft is very important. And learn, and just remember, you can always learn from anybody. You can learn from a kid, you can learn from your employees, you can learn from your collaborators, you can learn from so many places. Just be willing to learn, have an open heart and open mind. I think that's the goal.
Wow, thank you so much. Let me quickly acknowledge some of our viewers online. Good morning. Yes, from Learning is Fun, and you're joining us from Nigeria. Thank you for joining in. Linda Osei, you're joining from Ghana. Thank you for joining in. And Jeremy Zuma, you're joining from Ghana. And one of our Texas is joining from, I'm doing Cook. Okay, good. I guess that's what he meant. Joining from Texas. We've got Brittany, we've got other students joining from CMS Grammar School in Nigeria, from Nigeria. You're welcome. Please feel free to share your comments. We've got Alfred and joining from Ghana, and Alfred noting that entrepreneurship is a journey. I think he's agreeing with what Mr. Golua just said. That's a journey and not a destination. So we should pen down your vision. Thank you for that. And we've got Ezekiel Badahu joining from Ghana. Sorry. And yes, and another comment again from Alfred, that do not copycat, but improve upon what you learn from your mentor. Set a goal and aim to achieve it. Retrospecting. Learn to listen, listen to learn, master your skills, the willingness to learn with an open mind. Just echoing what Dr. Lillian and Mr. Golwa just said. Thank you all for engaging. So back to our guests. I would like to ask, being an entrepreneur comes with its challenges. So there are many myths out there about entrepreneurship. People have different misconception about it and all that. So, what are some common misconceptions that young people tend to have about starting a business? Dr. Lillian, you may go first.
Well, I would say what I've seen is that if you have a good idea, that's all it takes. Uh, but a good idea is not a good idea until you can defend it. A good idea is not a good idea until you're actually answering to a need in this humanity. I think that's the greatest thing I've seen. Everybody has a great idea, but that's not what it takes.
You're
You need to,
breaking.
like I said, you have to work. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
You are
me?
breaking. I can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you now. Yes.
we can hear
Okay.
you.
So I was saying that the greatest thing, the greatest misconception that I've realized or that I've noticed is that people think that all it takes is a wonderful or a great idea. A great idea that doesn't have a vision written is not a great idea. A great idea that was not challenged, that is not answering to a need, is not a great idea. We don't call it. The fact that you have a great idea is not all it takes. It takes way more than that. That's what I was saying. And I think young people today have brilliant idea, great idea, but they don't have what it takes to bring the idea to life. And that's one of the things that we do at Alive in International. We mentor young people from point A to point Z. To point B, I like the Z, I don't know why. But so point A is, yes, I'm thinking about this, I like this, but what is actually the need I'm responding to? Helping you find, define what is it you actually want to do and drive you through the process until you become successful. That's one of the things that our non-for-profit does with young people right now.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. Just having a good idea is not good enough. Pastor Golua, what is your take?
Yes, that is key. I wish someone would have told me that, 10 years ago, right? Having a good idea. So you move from ideation to, you challenge your vision to execution and then to measuring your success, right? And then you go back. If you fail, you go back to the journey. So
Yeah.
most people think that entrepreneurship is a smooth ride. So if I have the right idea, I'm successful. Or if my deal does not work out, it means I have failed, right? So the misconception comes in play where it's like you need to find a magic formula. It is, as I said earlier, it's a journey, right? Many people think that you are driving to a destination, like you want to hit some goals of making X amount of money. If your goal of entrepreneurship is money, you have already failed. If it's the goal is only money, you have already failed because you'll be driven by money. You'll be integrity will be challenged. You'll be looking at ways, right? Many people are going to entrepreneurship not to serve, not to solve a problem, but to look for money, right? Entrepreneurship is driven by solving a a a problem, solving a solution, bringing a solution to a problem. So it is a journey. It's not a smooth ride. There's going to be some ups. I mean, we can all here share our ups and downs, but it is a fun journey. It is an interesting journey, which is worth it. So it's a journey, not just a destination, full with bumps, and at the end you will get to your success.
Great, thank you. Our viewers online are beginning to ask some interesting questions, but then I'll give time for our guests to respond to those questions. I think in the next 10 minutes, we'll have to respond to those questions. But then before we get there, challenges are unavoidable, in business, but not everyone transforms them into opportunities. So, what personal qualities do you believe help entrepreneurs navigate difficulties and rise stronger? Dr. Lillian, you can go first.
Well, I think one of the things is to be resilient. You don't take no for an answer, and you never disqualify yourself. What do I mean? I love that thing, 'cause that sentence. I like to tell myself, it doesn't matter how hard it is. I am not turning myself up. Like I will sit here until I find what it is. I will keep on knocking until somebody opens the door. And discouragement is not an option. It's in my mind. I can't be discouraged. It's just if I fail, it's okay. And I always ask myself that what's the worst thing that can happen? Is that it doesn't work. So what? I would have learned one more way not to do it. So we move to the next. So I think that's very key uh, 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 in that light. So, and another thing, I will keep on saying the same thing: learn to listen, learn, listen, learn, listen, listen, learn. You have to learn. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to listen. I think is major in this journey.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Golua, how do you turn your challenges into opportunities?
Yes, definitely resilience. I mean, an entrepreneur is someone who's resilient. You have to be resilient because the challenges that you're going to face in front of you, oh my goodness, if you are not resilient, you'll be the one. So it's a skill to build. Are you the one that is easily to give up when you face encounters like just this week? I was faced with a bunch of challenges, and instead of just giving up, you think solutions. Okay, are there ways to rephrase this problem? And then in this area of ChatGPT, you start building yourself an agent that can talk to you, that you that can challenge your bias. So it's very important to be resilient. And another thing is to be focused, right? So you have to be very focused as an entrepreneur. There's a lot of distraction that comes in. You can be easily distracted by other things, but what is your primary goal? What are you trying to achieve in? Do you have guardrails in place that will help you not to be distracted while you're trying to reach your goal, right? You may be distracted with other opportunity. People may be calling you, oh, there's a party going on out here, but you have a deliverable. You're trying to, very focused. Time management. We are living into a society right now where uh, information is available. It is out there. Like, you want to be an expert in AI, you can just lock yourself and be the best. Like, just lock yourself in 7 hours. But people are not are not focused with their time. They don't know how to maximize their time. If you have the goal to solve a problem of transportation in Ghana, for example, how are you planning? How are you managing your time in such a way that you are spending your time researching and learning with all the tools that are out there, with in the web, all the books that we have for free and all that, in order to be the best version of yourself, right? There are challenges comes in place, but you have to manage your time. You have to be resilient. You have to stay focused.
Wow, great. Time management, resilience. Resilience keep coming over and over from Dr. Lillian, from yourself, and staying focused. So before we take questions from our audience, I'd like to speak directly to the young people listening right now. If someone here has an idea, Dr. Lillian, and they are passionate about, what are the first three things they should do immediately to bring that idea to life? Dr. Lillian, you may go first.
It's something I've said before, which is um, you're clear. You have the idea. Write it down. Be willing to allow it to be challenged. Let two or three people know about it. Let them challenge your idea. Number two, ask yourself, what kind of price am I willing to pay for this? Just like in my case, for instance, for the braiding salon, I worked for somebody for free for a long time. I'll sit in the salon, I'll see how operations are done, I'll see how they're doing hair, how they're managing the money. I learned, but I was there to serve. So you have to be willing to serve. Find somebody who's already doing what you're doing, go and serve under them. Those nuggets will fall on you without you having to demand for them, without you having to struggle for them, because you are serving. And it falls on you automatically. I'm a witness of that. I have experienced that. That's the second thing. The third thing is, like I said, what is the price that you are willing to pay? In my case, after watching what my cousins were doing, I had to decide if I'm willing to wake up at 5 a.m. and go home at 2 a.m. every day for my own dream. And I did it. I did it. Do I want to wake up early? I did it. In the beginning, I was having my job as a nurse. I moved my job from a bedside nurse to a case manager. So I was working from my salon. And eventually I realized, oh my God, I'm giving my best to these people. I wake up in the morning and I give them the best of my day. So that's what I'm asking. Are you willing to count the cost? Are you willing to pay the price? One of the price I had to pay was, okay, I've already saved enough money. We've already opened the company, but now I need to build it. Losing one salary for my husband and I, it wasn't easy. But we made changes. Are you willing to sacrifice in that way? Instead of paying the cable in my house at $200 a month, I'm like, okay, we're going to cut off all of that. We're just going to have Wi-Fi for $15 a month. If we're eating caviar or, I don't know, chicken, we cut that off. What is the price you are willing to pay for your dream to come true? Those are a little bit what what you need to have as a startup, I would think. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Those are great steps, great pointers there. And for Pastor Golua, what
Yeah,
are things? Yes.
yeah, so I'm not gonna repeat what she said because she said it all. I'm just gonna talk to those in the technology industry, right? So specifically, or those or leaders that you're trying to embark on a journey, right? If you are, let's say, in either in the software, you're trying to build an app, you're trying to apply AI. I want to first thing after you have the idea, after what Dr. Lillian said, right? Make sure you have a prototype. Make sure that you're not just having an idea on paper. Build a proof of concept. Because one of the things that you need is maybe are you going to be the fund? And many people are giving excuses. Oh, I cannot be an entrepreneur because I don't have money. And then you yourself, you are money. First of all, your first property, it is you, right, as you're investing in yourself. But building that prototype of the application you're trying to build, building that prototype of the website you're trying to build. Let's say you're building a website that will help people find jobs, right? Build a small scale, it's a smaller version of it where you're trying to share your vision. You're not just sharing ideas. You're showing your mentors. You're showing your partners what they are going to invest in. So spend time in building a prototype of what you're trying to do, so that your business plan, as we talked about, having a vision, making it clear, breaking down into small executable steps, but having a prototype that it can do at a small scales that will push your initiative, because it's easy to just have ideas, right? But when you start building, right, when you look at the story of Mark Zuckerberg, you look at the story of Jeff Bezos. So there were people who were doing things, or Bill Gates. There were people who were first doing things, and then they went out to sell those ideas to others. So build something that we can see, and so that investors, when they come in, they can say, okay, I believe in this idea. This is doable.
Wow. Awesome.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's awesome. You have touched on a number of nuggets there that I believe we are all taking notes. Personally, too, I'm learning. I'm taking notes. I'm also an entrepreneur and I'm learning. So I would like to our guests to respond to some of the questions audience are asking. Alfred J asked that, yeah, I read his question. I humbly suggest our honorable speakers throw more light on the pertinence of financial literacy in sync with having an idea and the right one as an entrepreneur. So I would like Pastor Golwa, you can go first, and then Dr. Lillian will add to it.
Yes, so financial literacy in the sense of raising funds for your project, right? You first have to understand what you need, right? And the first thing that you need, most people think you need money. Well, the first thing that you need, it's not money. You first have to prove your idea, as we said, right? So how can you, let's assume that you have idea, the idea has been tested, has been, how can you raise funds? And there are many ways of raise funds, right? You can raise funds, right, in your local community. You look from by looking at partnership and networking, right? Many industries have a way of have networking systems in place where you can go and present your ideas. I know for many industries, whether it is the healthcare industries, the IT industries, at different schools, there are ways where you can share your ideas and ask for funding. And on other ways and there are many systems online, many system online where you can post your ideas. I will share some links here when I get the time, where you can post your ideas. If you have, let's say, I'm talking about technology here. If you have an innovative idea and you're trying to craft it and you're looking for people to invest in it, there are websites where you can post it and suggest it. But more technically, I think there are strategies that you can put in place where your project can be self-funded, right? When there, that goes back to the strategy, right? When you go for phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, you can craft it in such a way that it's the project itself can self-fund it as it grows. So there are many ways you can do that when you're getting maybe all the ways of grants and things like that. But having is, you don't need to have a big capital, a small capital. Sometimes your capital you need is just your laptop, and that's it, right? And then you have a strategy to generate the next level of funding for phase 2. Right? Most of the time, we're trying to look at the end and say, okay, I need $1 million to build this application that will solve the transportation of the transportation crisis in Ghana, for example, so that people, maybe that's the problem, so that people know when is a good time to leave my house, so that I'm not stuck in traffic for 3 hours, right? That's a problem someone can try to solve. Creating an app where I try to tell him where I'm trying to go, and then tell me, oh, you should be going at 7 a.m. instead. That's just an example. So creating a funding strategy by start with nothing and let your phase 1 fund your phase 2, right? As you have more partners, because when you see more users, more usability on the applications, and then that would drive the momentum and with funding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golwa. You've answered. And Dr. Lillian, what's your take on it?
I mean, I would say he said it all. Um, One of the ways I raised my, like, let's say the plantain chips when I was 16 or 15. I didn't have money to go and buy plantain, but I had my mouth to tell my aunt and potential people that will do the plantain for me, that do the plantain, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to bring you your money back. So you have to be somebody who carry himself with integrity. You carry yourself with honor. You're respectable. When people see you, they know, oh, this person is honorable. We can work with them. So I was marketable. So that's why they gave me the chips. And I built capital from those chips. I was getting the chips and selling them double I was doubling the price. By the second or the third time she gave me the chips, I was paying when I was taking them and going directly to the gas station and getting my money. It was so fast, it was so quick. I come with my chips, 100 pack, 200 pack, they give me the money and I'm gone. That's how I was able to go and buy now cloth to do my shirts, my boxer shorts that I was also selling. And at that level, I started making more money. So I said, there's always a way. And like Pastor Golwa said, the number one thing is not the money.
Okay.
Do one thing you can do today. And there's always something you can do about your business today.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So,
if I may
yes.
add to her story, I think that story brings out very clearly one of my key statements. Your network can determine your net worth, right? Your network, because she went to an auntie because many people, we have networks. We have all classmates on network. We have, your previous job is on network, your family members. How do you maintain those network systems, right? You have different network systems that we are not even maintaining relationships. Maintaining relationship as itself, as an entrepreneur, it itself is a skill. How do you
Yeah.
manage this network? Because they can turn. Because, for example, in my situation, when I was trying to buy an existing business, I did not know that I had a big network. Right? It is that network that was able to unlock capital for me to be able to get that business. But if I would just say, oh, no, I don't have that money, but talking to those around, say, oh, I'm interested. Oh, yes, I can sponsor you. Yeah, that's possible because I've seen your track record. Again, goes back to your track record of
Exactly.
integrity, your track record of what you've been doing. Because we just say, oh, there's no money. No, do something now that will help your network to become your net worth.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I hear relationship building here. Relationship, you need to build a network. and your integrity is key to that. Thank you so much. There's another question coming from Ezekiel. He says, what problem do you think young entrepreneurs in Africa should be solving right now to create real impact? That's a great one there. So, Mr. Golwa, you may go first.
Yes.
And
Oh my
the
goodness. That is my topic. That is my topic. Right now, Africa youth is power. Well, Africa, I mean, looking at all the continents that we currently have, we see that the growth of the number of youth in those continents are decreasing. Compared to Africa, we are rising. The percentage of youth in Africa, it's our power. And one of the things that we can do right now is to maximize in this era of the AI revolution. We are in a new revolution. A light has been discovered. Like, just imagine, electricity has been discovered, and people are creating businesses because a new thing has been created. So one thing that you can do now is to skill up in AI. I don't know which industry you are in. I recently gave a talk on how you can leverage AI in your business, where you can look at AI and see how you can advance your continent, how you can advance your country, your community. How can AI help you solve the problem? Or having AI as an agent that you can talk to daily. How can AI challenge your bias? How can AI, suggest your idea, going from ideation to mentoring? AI can even coach you as well, and all the way to execution. Of course, you need to have someone in the loop as well. But the one thing that you can do right now is to skill up, is to invest in training in artificial intelligence. With the rise of AI in this era, I believe that Africa is best positioned, right? I think that is one thing that can help us move ahead.
Yeah.
wow, thank you so
Okay.
much. Dr. Lillian.
Well, I'm currently in Ghana, and the possibilities are. Well, you know what? I need to say thumbs up to the youth here, because as I drive around, I see people doing so many things, selling all kinds of things, and that's awesome. So here, service is one thing that is lacking. I would say, if somebody like in Ghana, I would say if somebody has like something as simple as a cleaning company, you don't need money for that. You tailor how you will be cleaning people's houses. You master how to clean their window on this their house. Mop their floor, make sure their bathroom, their kitchen, their fridge is clean. Like, learn how to do those things and offer those service. It doesn't cost you anything but your strength. If you can decide, oh, I'm going to find 5 houses, take pictures of before and after, and clean them, open your Facebook page and putting that on there, starting to post what you are doing. That's an example of thing you can do. You can, it's just so much. Like, you can decide to sell food, you can
Um,
decide to sell. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. It was your network. It's okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So yeah, so there is so much that is needed, and I think people have the idea, and Africa, the young Africa is willing. But what I think is missing is the mentorship part. Somebody needs to hold your hand. Learn that you don't know everything. Have an idea and go pass it by someone. Sit down under them, learn from them. Ideas are many. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Thank you very much. That's why we bring in this program. This is the African Leadership Youth Development Program, where young people get to be mentored, get to be coached to live out their dreams. So, Alfred J is thankful, extends his appreciation to our guests, our speakers, for responding to his question. I think he's satisfied with the response. And another question here from Ezekiel again says, how do you stay focused on one business direction when you have many ideas? And I once suffered from that too. I had many good ideas going on at the same time. So how do you focus now on one? Dr. Lydian, you can go first.
Okay, so I think it's the same process that Pastor Gola was giving us. Write your vision, get it challenged. Find 10 people you respect to challenge your different business idea. One among those will be easiest to you depending on your situation. I think that's one of the ways you can do that.
Yeah, and if I want to add, it is good to have a priority list, right? Prioritize your ideas because it's very easy to have ideas, but if they are not prioritized, so that is okay. Today I'm working on this. I'm working on idea number one, and then because it's very easy, we have seen a lot of entrepreneurs doing this stopping, doing that one stopping, do another project stopping. I say, oh, nothing is working. Whereas they have not fully invested into one idea because of, as we said, we talked about resilience. A little storm came in. Oh no, I don't think that was my thing. You move on. Oh no, so you have not done a retrospective. You have not learned. You're just moving from idea to idea. Prioritize what you're going to focus on and be disciplined with your time from ideation all the way to execution.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I believe you responded to our audience, and someone, a LinkedIn user, the name is not there. He
It's
says
10
that
hours.
the advantage for this generation is globalization. This had created access to what is out there with limited challenges. However, they need guidance and mindset change. So that's his take, that we need guidance and mindset change. So what do you he's a comment that he has made. So Pastor Gola, what do you make of that? That the young people out there needs guidance and mindset change.
Yes, I think that echoes very well what Dr. Lillian said about guidance and the mentorship. She mentioned being on the field there in Ghana, that the young people, they are doing things, they're in the service, they're helping, but there's a gap. That's where the mentorship, the guidance comes in mentorship. I think she has a great nonprofit organization that helps, and we have Berkha as well, that is helping as well in the training. So that you need to skill up by training yourself to ensure that you have the guidance, you have the tools and knowledge, because those what we call soft skills, we think that we only need the hands-on. I just need how to clean a car, how to clean a house, then I can go do it. No, to build a business takes more than that. How to manage employees, how to scale, how to do networking, how to do advertisement, how to sell yourself, how to all of those things are part of the mentorship that is provided. How you can really position yourself to be the best for your business. And the mindset shift, it's like the mindset of an entrepreneur, right? It is daily to retrospective. You try to grow, you try to stretch yourself to say, okay, this I failed. How can I evolve? How can I learn from the mistake I've made in order to become better tomorrow? So you're always changing your mindset or growing in your mindset of an entrepreneur in order to become the best version of yourself.
Beautiful.
Wow.
On that note, we're looking at the power of collaboration and learning. In today's global landscape, collaboration, networking, and continuous learning are really essential. So, how can young entrepreneurs use these skills to strengthen their impact? Dr. Lillian.
Well, number one, when you collaborate with others, I will take you just an example, like with my salon right now. We are starting franchises, and the people with whom I'm going to start the franchises will be my workers, those that I have right now, where we'll get into a partnership and collaboration and own salons together. Number one is great because two minds are working. We have two different strands. We are going to bring those different strands into the. That's why it's good to work together. Everybody brings their knowledge, everybody brings their experience, everybody brings their strength. We share in all of that. And even if there was a mistake, the loss in my investment would be lower. Even though I don't think that is an option. We must win. Okay, so I think that's one of the place where it is really important to collaborate. And sometimes because of lack, Doing it on by I mean on our own is more expensive. It's harder. Looks like it's not something that could achieve. Take my example. I wanted to open a salon, but I don't know how to braid. Maybe it's your experience right now, or you want to start cleaning cars. That's one thing I've not seen here. You can start a business where you're cleaning cars of people, cleaning the cars of people in their home. You find somebody else who might not have your knowledge in it, who might not have knowledge in how to clean cars, but have money to buy the first amount of soap and brush you will need. Okay, you find somebody else who, oh, he might not have the money, but he has the skills. I think I even got in contact with a company in the United States when I wanted to start. We wanted to start our non our assisted living facility. You had companies that would say, "You come with your money and or your knowledge or your desire to build this, and we are going to bring the investment, but we will own that together." It's okay.
Beautiful.
It's okay. Yeah, to come into collaboration and partnership with others so that we can move faster. Yeah, thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you very much for that.
Mhm.
Yes, Dr. Mr. Golwa, what is
Yes,
your
just
take on collaboration, networking, and yes?
yes. As I said earlier, your network can determine your net worth. So networking is key. And in order to do that, you have to manage relationships, right? So you have to continually build relationships, maintain relationships, invest in relationships, right? So it's not that you're having relationships where you can always profit from them, right? Or having a win-to-win relationships. Another thing is success does not happen in an island, right? We are all a networking industry. Whether you like it or not, you have to build a network. You have to collaborate with others, right? For example, right now, one of my businesses, our plant was down, and then that's a big challenge that came in front, right? So we have one of our equipment. Let's just simplify it. We have an equipment, a big equipment that is completely down, out of service. uh, Instead of saying that, oh no, well, it's me, what am I going to do? No, I'm going to collaborate. I'm going to outsource. I'm going to contact another person that can help me. Okay, you do this part, and I'm going to take it from there. So collaboration, you're always collaborating. They are based on your skills, based on limited resources. Maybe you don't have the capital. You partner with someone. You collaborate. Okay, I'm bringing my skills. You bring the capital, or you do the first part, I'm going to do the second part. So it allows you to quickly get your destination. So it speeds your success. It speeds your goal. It speeds achievement. So that as a team, so as a community, again, we are trying to solve a problem in the community, for the community, and with the community. So it's important to collaborate with those around us.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I just learned from there. If you're trying to do it on your own, run on your own, stand on your own, you may struggle and that could take quite some time. But when you collaborate with other people, you share ideas, you share resources. I think we can all make impact locally and globally. So thank you very much. There's a question here for Dr. Lillian from Elise Biole. He says that, Dr. Lillian, a question for you as a woman. So give me some advice for me to succeed as an entrepreneur. This is Elise asking you.
Whew. I would say the first skills that you need, you already have it. You're asking for help. You're asking for mentorship. You're asking for advice, and that's the greatest skill. It means that you're willing to learn. You know, um, and I would say beyond that, I would say like I said earlier, write down your vision. Bring bring your vision to the point where you know exactly the number. I remember when we wanted to started the water company with my husband. He made numbers to the T. If we are selling this amount, this is how much we are going to, if we are starting, this is what we are going to spend. This is how much investment we need for that. When we are producing water, this is what it costs for us to produce water. This is how much we are going to have as a benefit from it. You need to know that clearly. It has to be transparent. Now, if you have numbers that make sense, that are clear, and when you don't know how to do it, no problem. Go find an accountant. Tell them what you're trying to achieve. They will help you. Once it's clean and clear, everybody will buy your idea, whether you have the money or not. If they know what is a potential revenue or a potential benefit from working with you, they will be working with you. So stories are not enough. Study your case all the way to the numbers, the smallest number about it, then come. You will find people who are willing to fund what you are doing. I realized that when I did a program with uh, uh, the economic development of another country where I have one of my business. Actually, I had two businesses there. And when we were done with the training, we had to write a business plan. I wrote my business plan because I understood my craft. I wrote it. I told them everything about it. I'm telling you, by the time I was done, the bankers were the one that were telling me, when do you want to open the next shop? We want to finance it fully. No question asked. They were ready for me because my numbers were clean and clear. I knew what I had to invest. I knew what I was bringing. I understood my demography. I said, okay, like me, for instance, I was like, okay, I'm in another country. This is how many, this is the percentage of Black people living here, potential customer for me. This is how much, this is their median revenue. This is how much the revenue of people living here is, you know, like you have to study all those things. Okay, when I work in another country and I do someone's hair, this is how much they are going to pay. Out of this money, this is how much I actually spent. This is like it was clean and clear. They were like, when do you want to open the next one? We want to give you the money. 30, 40, 50,000. They didn't care. Because my story was clean. Okay. That's what I would say to Elise. And thank you for asking the question. But you're on the
Well,
right path. You're
Lisa,
asking the question. That's the greatest thing.
great. Ellie says thank you, and she will surely do that. Um, Another LinkedIn user says a partnership allows you to share risk with others and also get extra capital. But then when your business makes a profit, you keep you share the profit. If you're alone, you can keep all your profit. That's what he's saying. If you're alone, you keep all your profit. But then if you lose, you lose even your capital. That's an interesting one. Yeah, because that's we must focus. Often we are focused on keeping the profit. We look at the profit, we want to do it alone so that we can keep all the profit. But then we don't look at the flip side. Like, what if we lose? Yeah, you lose all your profit, you lose even your capital. I like that take.
I
Mr.
want to
Golwa,
add something. I
yes,
want to
please go
add
ahead.
something to that comment they made. Um, it depends on how you see yourself. Alone, you will do one shop. Running a shop with 15 women there is not easy.
Mm,
So, do I want to do one and two and stop? Or do I want 50 salons, 50 branding parlors across America or across the world? Partnership is always better. It's better for me to earn a little bit 50 times or 50, like instead of having 100% of the benefits, I will get 50%. I want to have 50% 100 times
mm, mm,
than to having 100% 3 times. You cannot hand, even Jesus only had 12 disciples.
mm,
You won't go beyond that. You can stretch that. So it takes too much out of you to manage a business. If you have a business and you manage it, you are like a pastor. It's draining to
Yes.
have to handle all these people who are working for you, handle the customer. It's just too much. It's better for you to divide, expand yourself into training other people. Like that's when disciple comes in, and Pastor Golua, disciple
Exactly.
other people to do what you're doing, so you can do
Yeah.
that 100 times. So don't look at it like that. Yes, it's 50% revenue, but you can do it 100 times. You can do it 500 times. Look at McDonald's.
Yes.
mhm.
Look at Chick-fil-A. So I just want you to think about it. Yeah.
Yep. 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 It's a
Great.
mindset. A good one.
Yes, Pastor, will you give your thoughts there as we prepare to round up?
No, I was just gonna echo that. It's a mindset. So the mindset is you're looking at the losing. You're not seeing the full picture, right? What it allows you to do, what it removes from your shoulder, right? You're not investing your 100%, so you can invest elsewhere. Like some of us are investing in just beyond business. We have
Yes.
ministry, we have families, and you have other projects
Yes.
around the world. So if you are 100% in one thing, you will not be able to do any other thing as well. So the partnerships allows you to accomplish more and faster. Even if you
Yeah.
lose the capital, you have not lost the lesson, right? That's one thing people are afraid. You're not lost the lesson. When you have to do it again, you can mentor someone else, right? By
Yeah.
sharing what you've learned. So you're always gaining regardless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You either
Beautiful.
win or you learn.
Yeah.
Sure. So for your closing statement, Dr. Lillian, we're rounding up. What's your closing statement for the day?
Well, first of all, thank you for Berkha Africa for inviting me. I enjoy it. I love young people is my passion. That's one of the reasons I started Alive It International. And I'm looking forward to work with people either remotely or in person to help them bring a dream to fruition. you know I'm really looking forward to that. And I want you guys to also, like somebody who just said earlier, thinking about just losing or losing. No, your mindset has to be different. And sometimes I do understand it comes from trauma, which is one thing that is not very looked upon in Africa. All these young people sometimes just have trauma, and the trauma has to be dealt with so that you'll be free to fly. And that's one thing that we do at Arab International as well. But thank you so much, Dr. Mavis. Thank you, Berkha Africa. Thank you to all the people who joined this panel to be with us. And thank you, Mr. Golo. It was nice meeting you or seeing you one more time. Have a wonderful one.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lillian. And to Pastor Golua, your closing statement, please.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Berka. Thank you, Dr. Marvis. Indeed, a great discussion we've had here, empowering the young people. Very important that we don't leave the young people behind. They are our next leader, the potential of Africa. Very important. And one key takeaway that I want you to take, you are an entrepreneur. Start in your entrepreneurship journey. Every day as you come back from work, come back from school, come back from your day-to-day activities, do a retrospective. What was the frustration that I saw today, and how can I solve it? Have a journal of it, right? And one thing that I want you to be part of in this AI revolution, AI has come to change the world, and Africa is taking its place in it, right? We have a growing population of youth, and then we must skill up. I want you to skill up, train yourself in AI. There are many free trainings out there in these days where trainings are free on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and all these places. Take time to discipline yourself, to train yourself in AI. It's very important to skill up, because Africa will take a great place in this AI revolution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining. And I would like to encourage our audience to follow our social media handles. Its handles is on the platform. You can see that. And also stay tuned, connect to this channel. This is part of the African Youth Leadership Development Program. It's run across Africa, and this webinar series is just a part of the program. Please stay connected, follow our social media handles, and I would like to continue this conversation with you. So as we close, I want to thank you, Dr. Lillian and Mr. Golua, for your openness, your wisdom, and really your generosity in sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate that. And to everyone who has joined us today, please remember, like our guests have all iterated, entrepreneurship is not a straight line. It is a journey. It is a growth journey that's filled with curiosity, filled with resilience and community. We have community in mind to impact locally and globally as well. So we hope today's conversation become one of the spark that force your next step. So thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session again. Do have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
As the corporate sector evolves, Berkha Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Berkha Africa. Berkha Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Berkha's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Berkha supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.berkhafrica.com for more information.